round Swan Insurance International Series for 1980. Without doubt, the best quality field we've seen for the 3 series runs so far. The first won by Jeff Sale in 1978, the next won by Greg Pretty last year, and there's been some top international riders ranged up against them. Can a local do it again against people like Graham Crosby on the Suzuki Great Britain entry of the Suzuki Yoshimura 1000, Steve Trinder, the local that might pull it off, Ron Bolden, Yamaha 750, in fact, he's chosen to ride that rather than his 500. Wayne Gardner, the Malloy Superbike Honda 1100, standard capacity. Gary Coleman, the Yamaha 750, number 52. Dennis Neal taking a lot of time to wheel his bike back. He didn't go round behind them. Has to reverse back into position, saying, I'll just settle myself down and take the time. And the starter's instructions, and another dreadful start. A shocking start. Gardner leading though on 6. A good run from him. Crosby blasting down the inside. Aldana right in among them too.
And Haslam, who must have been 5 seconds away from the start before anyone else, is understandably in the lead.
A screaming, snarling pack of incredibly fast and powerful bikes.
HAC, Haslam, Aldana, Crosby in the first 3 places. Haslam scratching, going as hard as he possibly can. Aldana uncharacteristically there. Dennis Neal in the Superbike in 4th position as Steve Trinder ranges up alongside him, trying to get inside him into 3rd spot.
Wayne Gardner behind him on 6. The race leader Haslam determined now to reinforce his reputation as Rocket Ron. Formula One Honda that won him the World Championship last year, had it taken from him this year after a great series of scraps with Graham Crosby. Crosby's in 3rd. Aldana missed the start in the first race, didn't appear at all. Trinder, the real threat, in behind them.
And onto the main straight, Haslam in the lead.
Haslam with a big margin over Crosby, then Aldana, then Trinder coming down the inside of him. So Trinder comes up 1, will now be 3rd. My goodness, Haslam is working the bike through there, Greg Hansen.
He's going flat out. He wants to get a big lead if he can in the first couple of laps.
Crosby now holding out Trinder. Trinder ranging on the inside of Crosby. Aldana dropping back. Crosby scratching there, with Trinder right behind him and Dennis Neal right up on the back of both of them again. Crosby only just holding out Trinder.
Isn't Dennis Neal flying too?
But there's Haslam in the lead. Surely he must be penalised for the start he made, but if he is, so will half the other grid as well.
Haslam, one of 10 children in the family. His brother Phil, killed in 1974, just as Rocket Ron was planning to turn professional. He delayed the decision then, but did so as Crosby and Trinder behind him loom ever closer and bring with them incredibly Dennis Neal. Dennis flying on what really is a superbike,
and now
rather
Crosby,
than a different frame Formula One bike.
Now Crosby closing the gap on Haslam, right on his tail with Steve Trinder right behind. Crosby goes to the inside. Haslam with a back wheel just twitching over the ground there as he really paws on those brakes in that section, taking lower gears. Haslam still holds the lead. Crosby just being a little bit cautious there of Haslam, because certainly his down change there was dodgy, to say the least. And Trinder takes advantage of that to move right up.
Dennis Neal ridiculously well placed compared with all the 750 Yamahas behind him, riding like a man possessed. Look at him, right up with the bunch on a locally developed superbike by comparison with Grand Prix bikes and Formula One bikes with virtually race frames. Doing a remarkable job.
And Haslam's so quick off that bridge, he opens a lead on Crosby across that bridge. Rocket Ron indeed.
They are running away from
There goes Trinder. Underneath Crosby. And Super Cross could do nothing about that. Now Trinder's got the scent of Haslam and he's after him.
They are rocketing away from 750 Yamahas being ridden by Jeff Sale, Greg Pretty, Ron Bolden, Gary Coleman. Haslam, Trinder, Crosby, a flying trio of bikes. Formula One
Look
Honda,
at Crosby.
Suzuki, Formula One Suzuki back to second.
Look at the power of that big 1000cc Formula One bike. It just leaves the 500cc machine of Trinder Ford dead down the main straight. Now it's up to Trinder again to catch him once more. Greg Hansford, that's the way you see the race going. The Trinder will be beaten down the straight every time?
Yeah, every time, will it, John? If he's more than 30 or 40 feet in front of Crosby when he comes onto the straight, Crosby won't be able to catch him, of course, because you only see him get an advantage of about 20 feet. But this is where Trinder has an advantage through here, because you see him just past Crosby again, but he still hasn't got the horsepower to get past someone who's in front of him. He could go through there faster than Crosby if Crosby wasn't there, but when Crosby's in front of him, he's got a trouble to get past him.
Haslam seems to be right off the air there.
He's been trying to get a bigger lead as he can now. If Trinder and Crosby are going to slow each other up when they're together, Haslam sort of looking back and finding out whether they're together or not, he'll be able to get away.
Dennis Neal in 4th position. He is all over the track. An incredible ride from this man as Crosby again comes up on Trinder, lets him know he's there and will try to pass him down the chute again. This time Haslam with Trinder much, much closer. Haslam should hold him out down the chute, but let's watch what happens in the braking area. Is he close enough, Greg?
No, I don't think so. He dropped back a bit then onto the beginning of the straight and didn't quite have the... he got the horsepower, but he didn't have the closeness.
But he comes mighty close indeed. That time Crosby couldn't make up the deficit, so Crosby in 3rd position. Now as Trinder tries on the inside, Haslam right there.
Greg Pretty looming up too on Dennis Neal. Pretty on the 750 Yamaha, number 64. He's going to be in the act too. There he is. Dennis Neal, then Pretty. Pretty got a brilliant start in the first leg. Not such a good one this time, but is a real threat, and I think will find his way around Dennis Neal as we see Trevor Flood retire Yamaha 750 number 15. But this is the race leader again. And I thought that when Crosby didn't get back on Trinder on the straight that lap, that might have been time for Trinder to consolidate, but he hasn't been able to.
6 laps remaining in this event.
Boy,
Haslam over the top of the flip-flop, using every bit of suspension travel there as he goes through the right-hander. Trinder ranges along the inside in BB bend, can't do it. Oh, Trinder almost put it high side. As Crosby comes up, he takes advantage of that momentary lapse by Steve Trinder.
And Pretty will have Dennis Neal as Trinder tries to get Crosby, but Crosby takes second. What fabulous racing, and the crowd is whistling and cheering and hooting and waving as they revel in some beautiful high-speed motor racing. Look at Pretty now. Pretty coming up to join them, has 5 laps to create interference. Haslam, Crosby, Trinder, Pretty, Neal.
And behind that, Jeffrey Sale on bike 10, the winner of the Swan Insurance Series in 1978. But he's a long way back. And there's Haslam off the Bridgeton Bridge. It blows, it flings it down into the Essence. With Crosby right behind him and Trinder right behind him again.
If you can stand the excitement, this is the first of 4 rounds in successive weeks of this. We'll miss Surfers because of the Queensland elections, but we'll bring you Adelaide and Sandown, so it should be tremendous. And with John Pace and Roger Hayes to join the field after racing in New Zealand this weekend.
And John Pace, in fact, to join the field on the ex-Graham Crosby Kawasaki Superbike, the one that Ross Hannon prepared. And there's Crosby pulling out now, making a move on Haslam down the chute. He is getting alongside him.
That's about 270 kilometres an hour down the straight. Crosby into the lead for the first time. The end of the start of the 7th lap. No, start of the 6th lap.
Now, Trinder comes alongside Haslam, switches to the inside. There's Greg Pretty right behind. Haslam holds 2nd place. Pretty's right up on them now.
Greg Hansford, could Greg Pretty be a threat with the extra speed plus a Grand Prix bike in amongst the superbikes there?
They surely will be, Will, because I don't think he really got everything together in the first round, but it looks like he's going to do something drastic here in a minute by catching up and passing them.
He's lapping faster than they are.
He would have been doing before the last couple of laps because he's right up on their tails now. He's well behind.
And Trinder back to second and putting the previous race leader, Haslam, from 1st to 3rd in half a lap. Now out after Crosby. Pretty sighting them all up, And let's see what he does on the straight this time. And Dennis Neal still incredibly not far behind them in 5th place, Jeff Sale 6th. The crowd is screaming. They're loving it. Building up to next week. Sort of speed with Hansel.
Top speed there now where Graham is a bit, 165 mile an hour at the end of the straight.
And that sweeper absolutely critical, of course, in 4th gear or 3rd gear in Graham's Blake.
If you can get through that corner correctly, well, you've got a good entry into the following corner.
Haslam now with Pretty, better lined up for the right-hander. Can Pretty stay tighter, get close to him on the exit? The answer's no. But the South Australian showing superb form. 2.5 laps to go. The race leader in 2nd.
And there he is, Steve Trinder. Straight through Crosby, and Steve Trinder is now in the lead.
3 different race leaders. Trinder the 3rd of them. Haslam, Crosby and Trinder, all the race leader at some stage. And the threat there too that Pretty could be in amongst them too. The crowd whistling and roaring and waving again as they come through VP corner. 2 laps to go at the end of this one. And Crosby has to work that bike to get out after Trinder. Pretty on Haslam further back. Can he get round and underneath? And Pretty might have, I think. As Crosby. No, Pretty in behind Haslam still. But everybody just a little bit hanging off there in 3rd, 4th place, Haslam and Pretty. Dennis Neal, I repeat, doing miraculous work back there on bike number 4. Here's Pretty, seized the bike yesterday, pulled it down, late last night, was still working on it, has got it flying. And the race leader, boy, as daring as you like, a beautiful motorcycle put under him by Dick Hunter, a Mark 5 Suzuki, wants to go to Europe next year and hopeful of getting a Mark 6. And I think he's almost got the race covered. He's pulling away Stephen Trinder, the Albury rider, who doesn't shave these days, for a couple of days before the race because he's built up a superstition. One time when he didn't do it, everything went right. And he looks a bit untidy, but boy, he can ride. His young brother Craig's not a bad rider either, as they go out on the final.
On the last lap. There he is, Steve Trinder, with Graham Crosby catching again now. Crosby will try a braking manoeuvre here, but this is Trinder territory down here, not Crosby. Trinder holds the advantage through Bitchabane corner, down under the Bridgeton Bridge. Crosby ranges on the inside there, while Pretty does the same thing to Haslam. Crosby all over, the back wheel twitching around underneath him.
Watch Crosby as they come up to the Bridgestone Bridge. Trinder uses 1st gear, gets a lot of wheel spin. Watch Crosby from low revs with a grunt of the 4-stroke. See what he can do, but he's out wider. And Trinder's got him beautifully covered up there. Trinder will be handy through this section. Will the world Formula One reigning motorcycle champion Crosby, who ran wide there and got offline, will he be beaten by the boy from Albury, Stephen Trinder, 24 years old on the Dick Hunter Total Suzuki? And I think the answer is yes. Down to the fifth corner they go. What brilliant, beautiful, exciting riding from Trinder on number 8. The crowd's whistling again. They've had superb racing. The checkered flag is his. Crosby second. Third place Pretty. Fourth place Haslam. Pretty got Haslam. Well, Steve Trinder's jubilant. Dennis Neal's 5th on 4. Gary Coleman 6th on 52.
And that means that after the first round of the Swan Insurance Series, Steve Trinder and Graham Crosby are tied in the lead on 19 points each. The ABC won't be at Surfers Paradise next weekend because of the Queensland elections. Make sure you're there if you're in Queensland to see this incredible racing.
Well, we leave you as the presentations are about to be made after the first round of the Swan International Series for 1980. A great battle in both heats between Graham Crosby and Steve Trinder. And Steve Trinder, a marvellous win. Quickly, before we have to leave on our station, Steve, a marvellous ride, and we can look forward to you in Brisbane and the rest of the series.
Yes, that's definite. We'll be going around now. I had my doubts about doing the series, but there's no way I'm going to miss out now. Our bike's performing just beautifully. Those guys out there are true professionals. To ride against them is just superb. You just can't explain how good it is to ride against guys with full out and out experience and professionals. I'd like to say thanks to those guys, because in close dicing like that, you want guys that know what they're doing, and they really know what they're doing.
Well, congratulations, Steve, and for all our viewers around Australia, don't forget to be watching ABC Sport for our coverage of the third and fourth rounds of the Swan International Series from Adelaide International Raceway and from Sandown. The final round televised live on ABC Sport. Bob Vincent at Oran Park for ABC Sport.